The story of the durian fruit. That day, during the Tay Sun period, there was a young man from the Dong Nai region. He is a talented man of literature and martial arts, and used to swing his sword to respond to people's grievances. He led the army several times and made Lord Nguyen's servants run away. Tay Sun's family passed away, and he returned to his hometown to borrow his profession to hide. Suddenly, bad news came, making everyone worried. As soon as Gia Long prevailed in Vietnam, he also began killing people who had served as mandarins for the Tay Sun dynasty. The king's family was based on their great or small titles. The princes and dukes were buried and mutilated. The guards were assigned to beat him with canes, whips, etc. The people in the neighborhood were willing to love him and advised him to run away far away. They help with money for rice and everything needed, including a small boat with a cage for easy transportation. Because he did not want to fall into enemy hands, he left. Going up the Mekong River, he went deep into Chan Lap country. One day he put a pole up to buy food. He walked into a roadside shop. In the shop, there was a mother sitting gloomily next to a girl lying unconscious. It was a mother and child who went to burn incense on the mountain. When they got here, the child was seriously ill. Having a special talent in medicine, he tried his best to treat her and finally helped the girl regain her health. And having his own boat, he took them home. She is an unmarried girl and has reached the age of spinning a loom. She has a modest beauty. Suddenly, a Vietnamese guy from somewhere far away came to stay at her house, making her fall in love with her. After a week of fasting and giving thanks to God and Buddha, her mother told her that Buddha had dreamed for them to get married. He happily accepted his new life for the rest of the day. From here he has a certain place to live. Her house is a silkworm farm. He can do all of those things. * 10 years passed like a dream. The couple clings to each other like a pair of doves. In the wife's garden there is a fruit tree called the Tu Mon tree that does not exist in the husband's country. That time, when the first ripe fruit of the season happened, the wife climbed up the tree, took down a fruit, cut it open and gave it to her husband to eat. The Tu Mon fruit has a special foul smell. Seeing her husband frown, his wife said, "Just eat it and you'll know it's as rich as my heart." Unexpectedly, one year, his wife came home from offering incense and had an epiphany. Her husband tried to run for treatment but could not save her in time. Death separates the couple suddenly. It is impossible to describe the husband's miserable scene. But the two still meet each other in their dreams. The husband promised that he would never marry anyone again for the rest of his life. As for the wife's soul, she promises to never leave her husband. Hearing that Gia Long had stopped hunting his old enemies, his relatives in his hometown texted him to tell them to come home. People in the neighborhood also advised him where to go to relax. He had to say goodbye to his second homeland. Before leaving, the wife told her husband in a dream that she would follow him to the end of the world. That year, the Tu Mon tree naturally appeared with only one fruit. And that Tu Mon fruit naturally fell into his shirt while he went to visit his wife's memorial tree. He was so happy that he decided to take it back to his country with him. He returned to his old job. But the anxiety of loneliness never subsides. He grew the Tu Mon seed into a tree and planted it in the garden outside the alley. From here, In addition to teaching, there is also the job of taking care of precious plants. His Manu trees are growing stronger and stronger day by day. Another 10 years are about to pass. The old boy now has silver spots. But the old man's heart suddenly became young again when he saw that the rows of trees that he had taken care of for so long had now begun to bloom and bear fruit. He happily invited his neighbors to attend his wife's death anniversary and enjoy the first strange fruit in the area. When the two moon fruits were brought out and placed on the table, everyone smelled an unpleasant smell. But the owner knew what he meant and said, "It's ugly and smelly, but its insides are beautiful and fragrant like the passionate love of a young couple," he said as he cut the two moon fruits into segments for everyone to taste. The two moon part is swallowed up to the neck and the fruit has an unusually sweet taste. Then, he told the story of his old love affair that he had deliberately kept hidden in his heart since his return. He kept telling and telling. And when he finished telling the story, in the corner of that faithful man's eyes, 2 drops of tears sparkled, falling right on the two moon he was holding in his hand. Naturally, those 2 tears boiled and boiled on the two moon vagina like lime meets water and finally seeped into the vagina like drops of water seeping into the brick. 3 days after the death anniversary, the man suddenly died. From then on, every time the villagers ate that fruit, they remembered the breeder and the story of the faithful man. They call two moon with the 2 words durian to remember the faithful love between him and her. It is also said that durian trees that belong to the lineage of seeds with 2 drops of a guy's tears in them are delicious durians. 1. According to Pham Tuong Han in spring 1957. Another story also told by some Southerners, it is said that durian fruit has existed since ancient times. The content of the story roughly exalts Sao Bien while degrading the value of Vietnamese people, so we will not narrate it here. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.